On March 16, 2009, Six Flags Over Texas announced that one of their flagship roller coasters, the Texas Giant, would be closing following the 2009 season. The move did not come as a shock to frequent visitors, as the ride had been steadily declining in popularity over the years. The coaster, which had opened in 1990, had become increasingly rough, leading to pain and discomfort being experienced by riders. Additionally, over 90 small injuries had been reported since the ride's opening, with 9 of those injuries occurring in the ride's final year. Instead of demolishing the Texas Giant, Six Flags planned to carry out a $10 million renovation of the ride to be completed in time for the park's 50th anniversary in 2011. When asked why such a decision was made, park president Steve Martindale said, "It's too much of an institution to this park and this clientele that there is no way we could have just taken it out." Six Flags did not give any further information on the renovation, leading many to assume that the park may simply be completely retracking the Texas Giant. However, Six Flags instead planned to work with a relatively obscure company to create an innovative new concept. Rocky Mountain Construction was founded in 2001 as a roller coaster construction company. During their early years, they assembled many coasters across the world and performed refurbishments of pre-existing wooden coasters. After the 2009 financial crash, Rocky Mountain Construction expanded their range of construction projects in order to remain financially stable, working on anything from zip lines to snow shoveling. This was a rare occurrence for a company in the theme park industry, and this unconventional approach led Rocky Mountain Construction to experiment with various concepts. Eventually, the company's founder, Fred Grubb, came up with the idea to design a new steel I-beam track to be placed on aging, maintenance-heavy wooden roller coasters, preserving them long-term without having to spend money on retracking. Fred began development of the track along with coaster designer Alan Schilke, who had worked on various major roller coasters in the past and who had recently worked with Six Flags to retract Texas Giant. Together, they pitched their idea to Six Flags, who agreed to finance the renovation. Six Flags was taking a huge risk working with Rocky Mountain Construction, who had never manufactured roller coasters in the past and whose workforce consisted of around 15 employees. They didn't have a large enough shop to manufacture the new steel track, so they had to expand their shop and purchase new equipment. Additionally, Rocky Mountain Construction was unable to produce trains for the ride, and the German coaster manufacturer Gerstlauer was hired to create a train design that would work with the predetermined track specifications. Adam Sandy, representing Gerstlauer, stated, "The primary goals of our design process were to give the best ride possible while keeping guests safe. This will be important later." Despite the challenges, Rocky Mountain Construction pulled through, completing the newly renamed New Texas Giant for the price of $10 million, or about $13 million today when adjusted for inflation. While expensive for a renovation, Six Flags and Rocky Mountain Construction pulled off more than was possible in a typical retracking. Sections of the layout were modified while reusing the wooden support structure, maintaining the iconic wooden roller coaster look, while adding steeper drops and higher banked curves. New Texas Giant opened on April 22, 2011 to great fanfare. It was voted as the best new ride of 2011 by Amusement Today magazine, and marked the beginning of a prosperous resurgence both for Rocky Mountain Construction and for Six Flags, who had been struggling to find their footing after the recession. Roller coaster enthusiasts flocked to the new ride, which they deemed to be a brand new distinction of hybrid coaster, because the track was steel and the support beams were wooden. This was considered the first of its kind, despite the runaway mine train and the mini mine train in the same park also having steel track and wooden support beams.
New tonight out of Arlington, a woman has died after falling off of a roller coaster.
Six Flags Over Texas confirms the woman was riding the Texas Giant coaster just after 6:30 this evening when she fell.
The most notable and tragic event in the ride's history occurred on July 19, 2013, about 2 years after the ride's debut. At around 6:45 p.m., a 52-year-old woman fell out of New Texas Giant, allegedly being ejected from a 75-foot-high section near the ride's initial drop. She died from injuries caused by the fall. Witnesses claimed that while the woman was boarding the train, she worriedly told the ride operators that she felt that her lap bar was not going down far enough. Shortly after the accident, the woman's family sued both Six Flags and train manufacturer Gerstlauer. After performing inspections, both aforementioned companies sued each other. Six Flags claimed that Gerstlauer's trains were a defective product that was unreasonably dangerous in design, manufacture, distribution, and promotion. They also stated that the restraint warning lights malfunctioned often, possibly indicating why the ride operators were not concerned with the woman's loose restraint. Gerstlauer, in turn, stated that Six Flags ride operators were at fault for not properly checking the restraint, as the woman was likely too large to fit within the train's dimensions. A spokesperson for Gerstlauer also acknowledged that Six Flags never put the provided test seat at the entrance to the ride, which didn't paint them in the best light, considering that a test seat, by nature, is intended to let people determine whether or not they can fit in the train before getting in line. As a result of the accident, Six Flags and Gerstlauer stopped working with each other on future projects, and seatbelts, as well as a test seat, were added to New Texas Giant. The ride reopened in September 2013, about 4 months after initially closing, and has been operating without incident ever since. Six Flags employees seem to be much more careful nowadays as far as ensuring people are properly secured on New Texas Giant, often resulting in longer waits as operators spend upwards of 2 minutes per train checking restraints. New Texas Giant serves as one of the most iconic rides at Six Flags Over Texas, and is undeniably the park's most important attraction in recent memory. But while eager park guests flock to the park's star coaster, they are often oblivious to the long road to get to this point. While somewhat obscure today, Six Flags Over Texas's past tells the story of the birth of the modern amusement park, highlighted by successes and riddled with failures. On the next episode of Theme Park Documentary, we will go back to the park's opening in 1961